I'm joined by NYU assistant women's basketball coach Annie Barrett. How are you doing today, Coach Barrett?
Good. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so just tell me, national champions and your team finished undefeated 31-0. So just tell me, how special was last season for you and your team?
Yeah, I mean, it was very special. I mean, at the beginning of every season, obviously the goal is to win a national championship. Takes a lot to get there. So to actually have done it and have that feeling for mostly our players, it's just really exciting. And obviously being an alum and coming back, I didn't win as a player, so I knew I had to come back and win as a coach. So that was also just special because I know how special this place is, what Coach Nettie and Coach Barber have done to kind of build it up to being a team that can compete for the national championship every year. And just, the experience that NYU provides our players is just really special. So it was a very good year. Like I said, a lot of pressure, but it's great to come out on top.
So you talked about, a lot of pressure was, there a lot of expectations going into here, and especially, when you got into the national championship, being undefeated, was there a lot of pressure on your team to, go all the way and win the championship, go undefeated, or, you don't like to set expectations for your team, and players?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of pressure and high
Okay.
expectations, both from the outside and within. I mean, I think we knew we had the most talented, roster in Division III and
Okay.
compete with, pretty much everyone, but you never know how that's going to all kind of play out. You say it at the beginning of the season, but there's a lot of steps to get there. So definitely a lot of outside pressure, but I think we knew that if we just focused on ourselves, didn't focus on kind of all the noise and what other people thought, that we could be, national champions.
Yeah, nice. So I have two questions. So, you played at NYU, and so how special was it, to be now a coach, to coach your alma mater to a national championship? And then also, I see you got to play, the Sweet 16 in the Elite Eight of the Division III national championship. You got your home court. Just tell me, how special was that? To get to play, the national championship. You get to play two games, on your home court and, have the, home fan support.
Yeah, I think playing on our home court, I mean, we've been waiting 7 years for this to happen.
Okay.
So our last gym was demolished in about 2016, and then this was our first season competing in our brand new gym.
Yep.
And then I think for both games it was a sold out crowd, about 2,100 people. We had a huge student section of all our different athletic teams and just students that go here. And so I think that was really special for our girls to see how much they mean to this university, how much support they're getting. So that was just incredible. And this new facility is, I mean, it's a D1 facility, but it's just, kind of put us over the edge. So I think took a little while to build, but it was definitely worth the wait. Um, Having to have been sent on the road the last 2 years because we didn't have a facility to host, to actually get to host again, like I said, it was just incredible. And then, yeah, being an alum, I mean, I personally know how tremendous of an experience you can have at NYU, not even just on the court, but also as a student. The internships you get here, the people you meet, the diversity. So for, I never got to get past the round of 32 playing. So I know, what it feels like to not to have your season end on the bad side of things. So just for our girls to experience, the ultimate accomplishment, it's just, it makes you proud as an NYU alum, as a coach. And I'm just so excited for them.
Yes. So yeah, let's talk more about, now you have your home court. Just talk about that, what it's like, for your team and players to now have, a true, home court. You said your previous court was, demolished, and that was your first season, on your new court.
Yeah, we always said, these past 7 years that we were road warriors because we were just
Mhm.
used to, even our home court wasn't, when we played at home, it was still technically on the road. We'd all get on the subway in our uniforms or our travel suits or whatever it was. So, we always said we were road warriors. We had adversity going on the road to playing in the tournament. It wasn't really a big thing for us because we were just used to it. But there's something so special about having your gym here, being able to play at home, being able to play in front of your family and friends, and the NYU community that have supported you. I think it's just, like I said, very, very special. And we're so grateful that it's now open, and that, we have everything housed right here on campus.
So two things, I'm interested to know about NYU women's basketball. The first is, can you just tell me, what conference your team is in, like what teams you play against in your conference, and also, obviously your team was, number one, national champions this past season, but the last season you went 25-3, and the prior season, 25-2. Can you just tell me, has NYU always had a, very good, women's basketball team, or is it just in recent years, NYU's gotten really good at women's basketball?
Yeah, no, we've had a rich tradition here of great basketball teams. I think back 1997 was the last time they won the national championship, but our teams were great back then, coached by Janice Quinn, who's now an administrator here and is actually coached for our current head coach. And then these past few years, obviously, have been very, very successful, advancing to the Elite Eight and then beyond this year. And even the years in between, they were, the standard was, we're supposed to make the tournament and we're going to win and have a winning record. So I think, it's always been great basketball here. And I think now we're kind of just reaching that apex again. And I think the culture here has been great for all the coaches. Coach Hall, the previous coach, recruited me here, and what first drew me here is just the culture, the sisterhood, the people that you meet when you come here, and the person that you become. And I think it was a huge place for growth. And so it's now nice to kind of have that with the great basketball, at least from my experience, kind of meeting at the middle. And then so our conference is the UAA.
Okay.
I'm biased, but I think it's the best conference in D3. We play Brandeis in Boston, Case Western in Cleveland, Ohio, Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh, Rochester in upstate New York, University of Chicago, obviously in Chicago, WashU in St. Louis, and then Emory in Atlanta. So we
Okay.
fly to all of our games, except Brandeis we bus just because it's close. But it gives you that kind of like Division I feel of the travel, but you also get the D3 academic side of it in terms of, you're in class, you don't miss classes. Our conference schedule is Friday nights and Sundays.
Mm.
We play doubleheaders with the men, so that's also fun to kind of travel with them, experience that, have their fans come to our games, our fans come to their games. But yeah, the UAA I think is up there as one of the best conferences.
Nice. Yeah, a lot of the teams mentioned in your conference name, they sound they're really great teams, and I didn't realize, a lot of them are Division III.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm interested to know, what drew you to become a coach? You returned to NYU, in June 2022 as an assistant coach. What drew you to become a coach, and return to NYU in June 2022?
Yeah, I always joke that once you come here, you never leave this place.
Mhm.
Our head coach went here and and is now back as our head coach. Like I said, her coach is still here as an administrator. So I think just like I've said, the people, the culture, the place that you become here, the people that you recruit here and that choose to come here are very mature, independent, kind of have multiple interests and diversity and thought, which I think is really great. And I always thought of myself kind of as a coach on the court, so I was like, it's only fitting to actually come coach. And when I took this job, everyone was like, oh, of course you did, like no surprise there. So it's been great to be back. I'm learning from the two best people in the business, Coach Barber and Coach Nettie. So just very thankful to be here and get to hang out with these girls every day in this role.
So just tell me about your time, getting to play at NYU. You were a two-time team captain, in 2020, graduate of NYU. You graduated with social and cultural analysis degree. So tell me about your degree and just, tell me about your time playing at NYU. I see you were the all-time, assist leader. So tell me about, why, or just, how you got so many assists, throughout your career. Tell me about that.
I played with a lot of good people that were shot makers. I was very much a pass first point guard. Like I really, if I didn't have to shoot it, I wouldn't. So people always make fun of me for that. Uh, but I just played with a ton of great people,
Okay.
players, that are now best friends. So I attribute all of those assists to them. Um, but I loved playing here. I mean, I think I wouldn't be back if I didn't. Like I've talked about this whole time, the culture, the diversity of the people is what, brought me here and then brought me back. So it's exciting to just see, things continuing to grow here, and to continue to recruit, some of the best people, who happen to be really, really good basketball players.
Nice. So yeah, what drew you to NYU and, going into college, were you, pretty set on, you wanted to attend NYU, or were you not sure where you wanted to attend going into college?
Yeah, I was looking at a few other high academic Division III schools, but I knew
Mhm.
that I was looking at a high academic school. That was the first thing. And NYU had a great program. I loved the coaching staff that were here when I was being recruited. Loved the culture. Like I've said, when I came, there was no gym. So I think it tells you a lot about the place that NYU is, that I chose NYU without knowing that I wouldn't have a gym for 4 years. So again, just speaks to that, the people, the relationships that you build here. I think obviously the internship opportunities being in New York City, most other places can't offer you those. We always say that you kind of just stumble upon a job or an internship here because, your professor knows someone that works in the NBA, and then, you have to get your foot in the door. I remember I had a professor here that, was in class one night, and the next night I was watching CNN and he was on CNN. So it's just things like that where it's like a guest professor anywhere else is kind of our professor every day. So just the opportunities that, you get here. Our girls go on to do incredible things, have incredible internships. We had a senior who interned with Slams, one who interned in our DNA lounge, one lab, one who interned with CBS, CNN, and all the other news affiliates. So, and they're all pursuing advanced degrees now. So I think just the caliber of a person that you get at NYU is very telling. And so I think it just speaks to how special of a place it is.
I'm interested to know, you started both on, the basketball court and, in your academics. You graduated magna cum laude and you were, a three-time all academic honoree. So, how did you balance, playing, college, basketball and also your academics? Because it seems like you did, pretty well academically. So how did you, balance that out?
Yeah, I think it's almost easier to balance when you're in season because you have
Okay.
practice at certain specific times. So it's like I have to get my work done around these times. I can't just, lounge around and watch Netflix for 5 hours. So it definitely teaches you discipline in that sense, kind of things that you learn from sports, discipline, accountability, responsibility, those type of things. Just kind of naturally come. And I went to a great high school that had a similar high academic, but also, high athletic caliber. So I was prepared very well for that. But I think we also recognize, that our girls have a ton of different interests in terms of academics, in terms of internships, clubs, whatever it may be. So we're definitely conscientious of allowing them to pursue opportunities, obviously, with this mindset of winning a national championship, but we definitely are very aware of their academic interests.
So you've held, various positions. You've worked at, the Boys and Girls Club in Massachusetts, other ones, all in together, visit.org, Team Impact, Women's Sports Foundation. So just, tell me about the various positions you've held and,
Mhm.
just, what you've learned or what you've enjoyed in these positions.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to have a ton of great internships. I mean, working at the Women's Sports Foundation started by Billie Jean King was incredible opportunity. It was very hands-on. I worked in the community impact department, so I got to see kind of the outward facing things and how they engage with the community, different programming, what works, what doesn't work. I think Impact is an incredible organization as well. We actually they're an organization that partners sports collegiate athletic teams with children who are suffering from illnesses, chronic illnesses. So we actually currently have a little girl named Amina, who is a part of our team now. So that's just an incredible organization. Again, very hands-on, working, learning so much, learning a little bit of everything, which I think is really important. So all the time, I think it takes, you have to figure out what you don't like to figure out what you do like. And I think all of these internships and jobs, I knew I wanted to do something in sports, and I wanted to work with people. And so I think obviously coaching combines both of those two things. But again, these are the types of internships that you get at NYU. It's because you know a professor that knew someone at the Women's Sports Foundation, and then you get an internship there, someone that knows someone at Team Impact, and then you're interning there. So again, I can't speak enough to the opportunities NYU provides.
So you're from, Cambridge, Massachusetts, and now you live in New York City. So tell me about growing up in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and how you got started, playing basketball.
Yeah, Cambridge. I love Cambridge. I was back the other week. It's a great place. I think it's very diverse. Which is when when I was looking at colleges, I knew that I wanted to continue living somewhere and being somewhere that had that diversity of people, of thought, of everything. So and it's not too far from New York. I am a Boston sports fan, so
Okay.
living in New York, that's a little touchy,
Hmm.
but our Celtics might win it, so we'll see. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think just, knowing I was a city person, wanted to be in a city, um, helped to get me here. And so both two great places, but Boston sports over New York sports.
Nice. Yeah, you're a Boston fan. I was a Phoenix Suns fan. We've never won,
Yeah, sorry.
but yeah.
One year.
So I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, but I also like New York sports, Knicks, things like that. But so yeah, growing up, did you play like high school or any, junior, basketball? How was that, growing up, playing basketball as a junior?
Yeah, so I think I started when I was 6 at the
Okay.
YMCA, my first organized basketball. I had a crib in my hoop from, however old I was then. So I used to, instead of like reading kids' books, and I used to memorize the Celtics roster and try to
Okay.
repeat it every night and like learn their stats. So basketball was always kind of a part of me. Neither of one of my parents played basketball or really, cared for basketball before I came. So I've always been an athletic person. I played multiple sports, but basketball always stood out for me. And I've made some great relationships, and just, what basketball teaches you, I think has served me well in life.
Nice. So finally, coach, you're back at NYU and you're a coach now. So, what do you enjoy most about being, back at NYU as an assistant coach? And then just generally, what do you enjoy most about being a coach?
Yeah, I think it's the people.
Mhm.
Um, I'm very much a people person, and the people that are here at NYU, from, Coach Barber, Coach Nettie, to our players, to the administration, to just, everyone here on campus, the athletic trainers. Everyone's just been incredible. They are great people. Even before, you think about basketball, you just think about the person, and they're the people you want to surround yourself with. So 100% the people, the relationships you make that transcend outside of just on being on the court.